As the movie starts, Keller Drover and his son Ralph are driving home after hunting. Keller tells Ralph how important it is to be prepared for emergencies. Meanwhile, Grace Drover prepares to leave home with her daughter Anna. They visit their neighbors, where Nancy Birch welcomes them. Franklin Birch's daughter Joy plays with Anna and Ralph. During Thanksgiving dinner preparations, Anna wants to play outside with Joy. Keller tells Ralph to go with them. Outside, Anna and Joy start exploring an RV but are stopped by Ralph and Eliza. After dinner, Anna and Joy ask to go to the Drover's house to find a lost whistle. Keller agrees, and they leave. Later, Keller realizes Anna and Joy are missing and searches for them. When he can't find them, he asks the Birch family, but no one knows where they are. Ralph remembers seeing an RV earlier and takes Keller there, but it's gone. Keller calls the police and Detective Loki responds. Loki finds the RV and discovers Alex Jones inside. Alex is arrested but refuses to cooperate. Loki continues to question him, but Alex denies everything. Later that night, Detective Loki visits Alex's aunt, Miss Holly's house, where Alex sometimes stays. He learns that Alex's RV is clean of evidence and sends another police team to Aunt Holly's house. The next day, Loki goes to the Drover's house. Grace mentions that Loki's captain praised his record of solving cases. Loki assures them he'll find Anna and Joy, but Keller interrupts. Loki tells Keller they found no evidence against Alex, which angers Keller. He questions how that could be possible, but Loki tries to calm him down. Loki promises they're exploring every possibility. As Loki leaves, Keller asks if Alex will remain in custody. Loki says Alex will be released soon if no charges are filed. Loki continues his investigation and eventually visits Father Patrick Dunn's house. He finds Father Patrick unconscious and discovers a hidden basement where he finds a tied-up body. The next day, the search for Anna and Joy continues, and Grace informs Keller that Alex is being released. When Alex is released, Keller confronts him for information. Alex whispers that the girls only cried after he left them, and Keller is pulled away. Captain Richard tells Keller to go home and assures him they'll overlook the attack. Keller insists on Alex's rearrest, but Captain Richard advises him to inform Detective Loki about the new information. Later, Loki visits Alex and Holly, questioning if Alex told anything to Keller. He warns Alex that Holly could face consequences if he's lying. Loki then calls Keller to inform him they're moving away from considering Alex as a suspect. Keller goes to comfort Grace, who desperately wants Anna to return home. Grace demands Keller bring Anna back, and he gives her medicine to calm her. Keller asks Ralph to look after Grace while he assists the police. That night, Keller waits outside Holly's house, armed. He confronts Alex, threatening him with the weapon, asking where he heard the Christmas jingle. The next day, Keller takes Franklin to his hideout where he's holding Alex. Franklin suggests taking Alex to the police, but Keller insists on extracting information to find their daughters. Keller confronts Alex again, demanding he confess. Meanwhile, Loki researches old child abduction cases and follows a lead, speaking to Mrs. Milland, whose child was abducted 26 years ago. Close to where Alex's RV was first seen, Keller continues to interrogate the badly injured Alex in the evening. Despite threats, Alex remains silent. Franklin attends a vigil for the missing girls, providing support to his grieving family. Nearby, Loki observes Brad Taylor placing a teddy bear at the vigil. When Loki follows Brad, he is attacked and loses him near a busy road. The next day, Franklin sees Brad identified as a new suspect on the news and joins Keller to question Alex again. Keller believes Alex and Brad know each other and seeks the truth. Meanwhile, Loki informs Captain Richard that Alex never returned home after walking his dog. He questions why Alex wasn't under surveillance and the whereabouts of everyone involved. Loki reviews his interrogation of Alex for new clues and meets a witness at a shopping center regarding Brad. Meanwhile, Keller tells Franklin they're running out of time at the abandoned house. Franklin confesses to Nancy about being with Keller. Nancy confronts Keller about kidnapping Alex and demands to see him. She unties Alex in an attempt to get information, but Alex attacks her and tries to escape. Keller then demonstrates his new method of extracting information from Alex to Franklin and Nancy. Franklin questions Keller's certainty about Alex being the culprit and insists it must stop. Keller hands Franklin the hammer and leaves. Nancy prevents Franklin from using the device and they both leave. Meanwhile, Brad surprises Eliza while Franklin and Nancy return home. Brad escapes into Keller's house, startling Grace. Thinking it's Anna, Grace panics. Ralph comforts her, and she tells Loki what happened. The next day, Loki tails Keller and follows him to the abandoned house. Keller notices Loki and confronts him. When Keller gets into his car, Loki asks where he's going. Keller lies, claiming he's going to buy something. Loki reveals Alex is missing and Keller suggests Alex fled because he's guilty. Enraged, Keller demands Loki focus on finding his daughter and stop following him. Keller returns home and sleeps, hallucinating about Anna. He asks who harmed her but wakes up before receiving an answer. Keller returns to Alex and inflicts more pain to extract information. Meanwhile, Loki arrives at the house, prompting Franklin to hide. Loki finds Franklin on the floor and begins to search the premises. Franklin shows Loki around the house. But Loki receives a call about Brad and rushes off, leaving Franklin behind. Loki finds Brad at home and questions why he fled. Despite Brad's attempts to escape, Loki captures him and begins searching the house, calling for backup. Inside, he discovers crates filled with dangerous snakes wrapped in bloody clothing. He finds a book of mazes in the last crate and takes it before leaving. Later, Loki informs Keller that no bodies have been found, but the Birch family identifies some of Joy's clothing among the crates. Keller recognizes one of Anna's socks and breaks down in tears, blaming Loki for not saving his daughter. Meanwhile, news reporters visit the Drovers' house. Keller instructs Ralph not to speak to them, but Ralph reveals Eliza's belief that the girls are dead. Keller denies it, urging Ralph to keep it from Grace. Ralph confronts Keller for abandoning the family and Keller storms off in anger. Meanwhile, Loki observes Brad studying the mazes he found. When Loki confronts Brad, a struggle ensues and Brad grabs a weapon to ensure his silence. At the abandoned house, Keller prays for forgiveness and confesses to Alex his uncertainty about what to do next, but he believes Alex still holds crucial information. Alex claims he will find the girls in the maze, but refuses to disclose its location to Keller. Desperate for answers, Keller visits Alex's aunt to apologize. Meanwhile, Captain Richard tries to console Loki for not solving the case in time. Loki, feeling overwhelmed, breaks down. He notices a picture resembling the maze drawn by Brad and receives a call. Rushing to Brad's house, Loki learns most of the evidence is fake, including the mazes. Despite this, Loki believes there's a connection and questions how Brad obtained Anna and Joy's clothes. He rushes back to the Drovers' house and finds evidence that Brad stole Anna's socks. Grace receives a call, and as Keller arrives, she rushes out, revealing that Joy has been found, but not Anna. They head to the hospital to meet Franklin and Nancy. Keller tries to question Joy, but is interrupted. Joy recounts her ordeal and implicates Keller's presence during their abduction. Keller speeds off, followed by Loki to the abandoned house, where they hear Alex in pain. Keller then visits Holly's house, offering to help fix things as an apology. However, Holly reveals she knows the girls were at her home and holds Keller captive at gunpoint. She handcuffs him and forces him to drink a sedative to see his daughter. Keller receives a call, but Holly orders him to dispose of his phone. She confesses to kidnapping multiple children with her late husband, describing the abductions as a way to turn people into monsters, like Keller. Holly confesses that Alex never harmed Anna or Joy. She decided to take them. She leads Keller to a hole in the ground, injures him, and forces him inside, causing further harm. She promises to reunite him with his daughter in the hole and seal it shut. Meanwhile, Loki is instructed to inform Holly that the police have found Alex. In the hole, Keller discovers Anna's whistle. Loki arrives at Holly's house and hears movement inside. He enters just as Holly is about to inject Anna. A struggle ensues and Loki manages to save Anna before rushing to get medical help for himself. Keller remains missing, and Grace, along with Anna, Nancy, and Joy, visit Loki in the hospital. Grace expresses her concern for Keller and asks Loki to find him. Meanwhile, at Holly's, Loki watches as the excavators leave but hears Keller whistling from the hole, and the movie ends.